What's up guys, it's Roosh here back with another video. Yes, it's been a long time, but I finally got a new setup that I'm comfortable with so I can make more videos for you guys. A lot of you guys ask me, hey Roosh, how do you draw from memory without any reference? So this video is about that. I wanted to make something for you guys that you can enjoy and I can enjoy. So what other way than drawing 3 Pokemon that I've never drawn before from memory. So I'm going to tell you how this is going to go down. When you're drawing from memory, it's like anything else, like learning a new language, learning science, math, or anything like that. It's a lot of studying. When it comes to drawing something from memory, you can't do it if you've never studied it. So before we begin this, I'm going to choose 3 Pokemon that I've never drawn before, and I'm going to go and attempt to draw them from memory. But first, I'm going to study them for about 2-3 hours using this handy little sketch pad here. Once I'm done that, we'll come back and I'll try to do it from memory and you guys can watch me do it on the iPad. So the 3 Pokemon that I chose were Darmanitan, Garchomp, and Raikou. They just look really cool. They're not too easy, so you guys can be like, hell Roosh, man, that's easy, I can do that. So I'm gonna go draw these 3 a bunch of times and I'll show you the sketches I have in my sketchbook after I'm done. So until then, take it easy. I'll be seeing you guys in about 3 seconds. It's been about 1 hour since I started doing the sketches. I think I did 4 or 5 pages of sketches. Some of them, like this one, is a study. So when I was going with Darmanitan, however you pronounce his name, it's fairly simple. I just think he has a really cool design. He's the easiest out of the 3 that I chose to do. And there's this thing I used to do when I would draw something. I would say it out loud, like I would say 3 down, 3 lower, and just circle eyes, and like I would say something out loud, and it would help me while I was doing it. Now I don't say it out loud because that's kind of crazy. I just say it in my head. And I look for things that I've drawn before that I can relate this piece to. So for example, the body is definitely a gorilla, chimp. In the actual design, it's fairly simple. Like, it looks like paws or something, but you can tell that he's modeled off a gorilla. So I just went and pushed the gorilla aspects a bit more. His face is just really cool. He's off reference, and then just quickly with side glancing this piece, I just did this just so I could soak it in. I did a front shot of how he should look like. Fairly simple body shape, very circular. And then I think a really cool shot that I came up with was doing a profile shot with his mouth open. He just looks so menacing like this. And then I moved on to Garchomp. This is with reference. The body is very reptilian, like dinosaurs and raptors, T-Rex, shark tails. The face was the most complicated part for this guy, but once you get the down, up, down, his eye follows the exact same shape, and he's got 2 torpedoes. He's got this star-shaped thing, gills. Just remember that there's 2 spikes on the legs, 2 spikes on the arms. And then aside from that, really easy. This was a memory test of what I just learned. So that's what I would usually do, is I would draw, and then I would, on another page, redraw what I just drew, but without any reference, and just going off memory alone, because it's so fresh in my memory that it's fairly easy to just replicate what I just did. Sometimes I'll make small mistakes. So for instance, here I drew this off memory, but this line here, the down and up, I didn't put that in the other piece. I couldn't see it, so when I was doing it, I had to look back at the image and like, all right, there's something missing, and that's what was missing. With Garchomp, his face is very triangular, so I just imagine a triangle like in this angle, and then I just open its mouth and then there's a Darmanitan and like holding a barrel because he's supposed to be like Donkey Kong-ish. We moved on to Raikou, and he's probably the most complicated. It's got to do with the shape of his helmet, because he's cat-like, but his
His helmet doesn't really follow the same shape of a cat's skull. His helmet is just very circular. If you were to take that helmet off, his eyes and his nose would be awfully close to each other. I kind of drew it right there. It looks pretty bad, so I just stopped. I was like, you know what, just keep the helmet on, bro. You look better this way. I love this shape that they went with, where it's like this cloudy kind of look, just embracing the side of his face and creating this very Asian inspired look. He doesn't have paws. It looks like 3 hooves if you look at the design. I drew him once again from this position, really quick. Doesn't even have to look good. Then when I did this, let out everything that I just learned onto one page. I think in total like 8 minutes. So Darmanitan first, then with Garchomp, just keeping in mind that the face is the most complicated, but as long as I have the face, everything else is fairly simple. I even like how with what they did in the design is that his thighs go in towards the knees, but from the knees going downward, instead of getting thinner, they taper out. I really like that idea. It's kind of like Chris Sanders, Lilo and Stitch legs, but with a demonic shark creature. And then quickly getting this dumb looking Raikou out without reference, but knowing that everything is there, all the information is there. So when I go and I draw this from memory on the iPad, that I have all the information I need and that I'm good. So I can begin on that. So let's get started on the iPad piece now. Kind of nervous, but I'm fairly confident that I'll remember everything. So I'll begin by doing some thumbnail sketches just to put all 3 of them in one image, and then we'll go from there.
Alright, so this is me beginning my piece. I initially start almost every big piece that I do with a thumbnail sketch. Usually I would do 2 or 3 thumbnail sketches, but lately I've been just going with whatever my first attempt is, because usually that's what I like the most. So I bump up the thumbnail sketch so it acts as an underlying construction sketch, even though it's very loose, but the information is there for me. Some parts aren't right, but later on you'll see me correcting them. And the shot I chose to go with is an upshot on the characters on this edge of a rocky beach, just going ham. So I started off with Garchomp first. I don't know why, I think I really like his design. Even though I like the design of all of them, Garchomp is just so cool looking. He just really menacing, really almost humanoid looking, which I kind of like that mix of animal and human. I was initially going to keep this piece light on lines, like I wasn't gonna go crazy with the hatching, but I've been playing around with Prismacolor pencils and lead pencils lately, that when I was going with starting this piece, that I was like, you know what, just go ham. And it's around this point where I started to go a little crazy with the hatching, and you'll see me not being able to stop myself. And that's not a good thing, because sometimes you have a time limit, and you're supposed to get something done by a certain point, so you're not supposed to put so much work into something. Like, but you know, I was like, why not? I'll just go at it. I'm putting in the light source where the shadow is, very simply, but well enough where it can guide me on later. And I'm using the comic soft ink brush, and it's available on my Patreon if you ever want to use it. I spent a very long time making these 3 brushes, the hard ink brush, the soft ink, and the comic brush. Here I'm using the soft ink brush, but it acts more like graphite rather than ink. And as you can see here, I bumped up the brush size to 80%, and so very minuscule amount of pressure is applied, but it's giving it such a nice thick hatch line look. I was like, damn it, I put so much work into Garchomp, that means I gotta go crazy with Darmanitan now. So I started with Darmanitan, and I think I really pushed his mouth more than it actually would be. As you can see, the rough's even bigger. Like I pushed it even more with the rough. But I kind of held myself back from making his mouth too big. But I was like, why not? Like he looks so cool, big mouth. I didn't draw him from this angle before, so it was my first attempt at drawing him from this angle. But I think I really like how it turned out. And I was trying to use the brush in a way where I could give this silky fur look. As the light source is directly above Garchomp, so it's to the right of Darmanitan. I'm trying my best to follow the rule that I just created for myself, keeping the shadows in check. And I was just having a great time drawing fur. I really like texturing fur. That arm, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with how this actually is turning out. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it's turning out, but I'm happy that it is. Moving on to the leg muscles, so we got the gastrocnemius, and which is the calves, and I'm trying to cover it in the shadow, but not so much because I don't want to lose precious details. And I'm having a blast just hatching it in. So I'm keeping the brush at around 80%, sometimes to 100% side. Because this is an 11 by 14 piece, it's okay. I can get away with it. But yeah, generally I like to keep my brushes a little bigger than comfortable because it just allows me to apply that extra pressure when I need to get those nice thick lines, and then immediately let off so I can taper them and give a really nice look to it. Moving on to Raikou, I'm just going off of lion tiger anatomy that I've drawn before. The muscles are pretty similar to humans. I mean, they're all the same muscles, it's just different proportions. And then we had this cloudy look on his back, and I had a really good time drawing that. And I didn't follow the shape of his tail on purpose, just because I want to make it a little more dynamic looking, more randomized, if you would say. Then I moved on to darkening those clouds, and I know that they're purple, so I went with a darker, just a darker look to them. So once I color them, which I wasn't planning to color them, but I do color them, it would suit it better. So on the fur, I know it's yellow and white. I'm putting less pressure because it's yellow and white and I don't want it to look dark. So it looks contrasting between the clouds on his back, which are purple. Applying the shadows here, and I was, with every piece, like Garchomp was good, Darmanitan's better, and I think Raikou is the best shaded out of the three of them. But it's okay, at least they still look like they belong in the same place. Then I was like, let's go crazy. They're like celebrating, they just won something. They killed their trainer, they're like, screw him. And now they're celebrating, and there's like water smashing into the back, causing a wave. Now as you can see, I'm changing the colors of the line just to see what I like. I went with a dark blue for now, just to help me tell apart the gray waves and the black lines. Then I changed them to blue, and now I'm getting to the coloring. What I do is I outline them, and then I fill them immediately in, and very quickly, flat colors, apply the colors. This is still without reference, so I'm very happy that I remembered what color they were. And that's it. Painting in the background, adding some noise, and voila, there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a blast making it. It's the first time I've tried something like this where I drew fan art without any reference, so I also learned something new today. If you guys are interested in comics, please check out my Patreon. I post exclusive Kings of Nowhere Volume 2 stuff there, and I have 3 exclusive brushes that I use, one that I used today. So if you're interested in getting some new brushes for Procreate, it's there for you as well. Comment down below if you think I look stupid. I'm totally cool with that. And hit up my Instagram for more comic related stuff. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Take it easy.